Okay, so in last video we saw the implementation of subclassing with the new keyword. This was the implementation of subclassing with the new keyword. Now we are all gonna see this implementation with the class keyword that was introduced in like ES 2015 or ES6. Okay, the thing is the syntax of writing the code would be like much cleaner and much efficient, and you don't have to like do these type of things user dot prototype. It would automatically be done with ES6 class keyword. But under the hood they are implementing the class keyword the same way as this code is. JavaScript is not the like very the classical object oriented in nature. It's like prototypal in nature. Like they are linked to the they make links to the other objects through proto, and like how C sharp, Java, and Python implement their object oriented programming. Okay, so in JavaScript, in class implementation or object oriented or whatever, subclassing is different from the other object oriented languages. Okay, so you should know, so that it is doing this stuff under the hood, and they are like making proto linking to the other stuff. And we are gonna like now dive into the code and see what happens. So I'm gonna like type in this stuff with but with just with the class keyword. So let's start. I'm gonna define a class with the user creator. I'm gonna pass in oh no, this is gonna be a class. Okay, so every class has a two things, a function and an object. Like all the other functions and objects, class is also a combination of function and object. And inside of that we have a constructor which is gonna be acting as a function bit of the user creator. Okay, so it would take in two parameters like name and school. This constructor would act as a function bit of the user creator, where in this one we use like define the function user creator and then use it. But in class is the constructor is what doing the function bit of that. And I'm gonna say that this dot name is equal to name, and this dot score is equal to score. And in in this implementation we added the methods to user creator dot prototype dot cname. We don't have to write user creator dot prototype, but on the whole we just have to like write increment. Okay, just type in increment and add method, so it would automatically add the method to the user creator prototype. So this method is automatically attached to the object bit of the user creator. Okay, so I'm gonna say that this dot score to be plus plus. So you see a lot of code like got less, and we have to write less code in this, but on the hood it is same as this is what doing. Okay, I'm gonna add one more method. This is increment. I'm gonna say name, add one more method which is gonna be the cname, and this is gonna be console log. I am whatever the name is, this dot name. Okay, and I'm gonna like now try to access it with the new keyword. Okay, I'm gonna create an instance of this class. I'm gonna say const user1 is equal to new user creator, and I'm gonna pass two values z, and I'm gonna pass in like 4. So this will like call the user creator and pass these two arguments to these function parameters. Then this will like create a big old empty object of this and add the properties of name and score to this object, and this would add the like increment method and then cname to the object bit of that. Okay, so if I like try to user1 dot increment. So this would go to like user creator function bit. It would try to access it over here. It won't find it. It would say that its proto linked is to the user creator dot prototype, and it would find this increment method in the user creator dot prototype, and it would increase its scope by 1. And then we can see in our console that it got increased. Okay, so this is an object, name is Zaid and score is 5. This is an user one is like an instance or object of the this class. Got it? How the like class implementation is same as that of the whatever we saw with the new keyword and without the new keyword implementation. We already saw them, but now with the class keyword. And now we're gonna talk about, because our main concept is like understanding the subclassing, so we're gonna do is subclassing. So I'm gonna say that class, I'm gonna create another class which is gonna be paid user creator, which is gonna be extending the user creator extends keyword. I'm gonna explain like extends keyword in a minute. Just try to follow along, and if you can like figure it out on your own, that's good. Okay, so I'm gonna like add the constructor of this one, paid user creator. Okay, so first thing is like all the classes have a function called constructor. I'm gonna take in 3 um, parameters for this, because I'm gonna call this with the paid user one. This is gonna be called with the paid use new paid user creator. I'm gonna pass in Viviana, and I'm gonna pass in 8 for now and 25 for the account balance. And then these would go over here like paid name, paid score, and account balance. So these parameters would be replaced by the arguments of these, or and hold these temporary values which are passed to them, and do some calculations. And inside of that, another function which is called super. I'm going to explain this extends and super in a minute. Just for now, try to like understand. If you can understand it, that's good, but I'm going to explain it in a minute. I'm gonna say call the super paid name and paid score. And so I know you want, if you for now just try to like, if you can understand it, that's good. But try, if you can like just just neglect it, or try to neglect it, and try to neglect this keyword as well. The other stuff is same, like user creator has constructor, paid user creator has constructor, and so we're gonna add some methods to paid user creator as well. Okay, so I'm gonna increase balance by this dot account balance to be plus plus. And I'm gonna now try to access, I'm gonna try to increase account balance by 1. I'm gonna say page user 1 dot account balance, sorry, increase balance. Wanna increase the balance, and then I'm gonna console log page user 1 to check if it got increased or not. And then I'm gonna explain the extends keyword and super keyword after I check it in the browser. Okay, account balance didn't get increased for some reason, so let's try to check why didn't it get increased. Okay, so the thing is I didn't refer the account balance over here, so this should be referred. This dot account balance is equal to account balance. I didn't refer it into the this object. That was the issue. I think it should be solved now. Yeah, the score I passed was like 25, and it got increased to 26. Okay, let's try to solve the mystery of the extends and super. When I passed in arguments of Viviana 8 and 25 to page user creator, okay, extends keyword does some of the stuff for us. Okay, when I call this with the new keyword, you know that this would like instantiate that this keyword by default it would be the empty. Okay, by default it's gonna be the empty object. Okay, but the extends is gonna like do some stuff for us that we can use user creator proto and its calculation. Okay, extends allow us to use user creator and its proto linked prototype methods as well. So how they allow us to use them is by when I like use this constructor and added three values, and this extends keyword allow us to use another keyword which is called super. Because of the extends keyword, I'm allowed to use super keyword. When I use super and pass in whatever the parameters, like I'm passing in these two parameters to super, so it's gonna do what, it's gonna go to user creator constructor function, is passing whatever the values were over here, period name and period score, which were Viviana and it, and it would like, okay, let me like minify this so you can like better visualize. So we were over here when I like passing these values to these, and I'm passing these to paid name and paid score to the super, and super is like when I like hover over, you can see that this is a constructor of user creator, is calling the user creator constructor function and these parameters values to these constructors to this constructor function, and it's gonna do some calculation and it's gonna do one more stuff for us, and that stuff is when I like extend it and call the super constructor function, it automatically uh, makes a proto link to these methods as well. I don't have to like manually link to these general functions with the user creator functions have, like I did it before in a new keyword with the like object user creator dot prototype, passing in user creator dot prototype by manually linking them. So extends this does for us as well. We don't have to like manually link these methods to our page user creator. When I call the super, and it's automatically gonna be linked to these methods as well, so they are available to paid user creator. Now you know how this calculation and whatever the like object was created because of this constructor function, that was like a this, it created big, it created an object of this. Okay, so whatever the return of this super is, we will take that into this object. This dot pay name is equal to whatever the name will be returned from here, and this dot it's going to be whatever returned from this. The third value is this dot account balance is account balance, and because now we got linked to these methods as well, increase balance prototype, because this increase balance is in the prototype of paid user creator this object. Okay, this constructor function is automatically gonna be called. Okay, whenever I call this with the new keyword, this constructor function is automatically gonna be called, and when this function is called, its proto is automatically linked to this increase balance method, which is in the um, prototype of this, which is the this object because of creation of this new keyword, if that makes sense. Try to like use it, try to like manipulate it. The more you play with it, the more you understand it. It's not the problem if you don't understand it at the first. It's okay because it's hard, but once you get it, you get it. And because we never, because of the super, we got access to these increment methods as well. So I'm gonna like try to access cname as well. Okay, so I'm gonna say paid user one dot cname. So I got access to them as well, but these won't have access to the paid functionality. So I'm gonna try to access user one dot increase balance. Try to access it. I'm gonna put it over here. If for some reason you think that it's because I defined it below, I'm gonna try to access it. It's gonna say that it's not a function because it's not available to user creator, because it's not got its portal linked. That's it for this video, and that's it for this course as well. Thank you for sticking around. Hopefully you had something learned from me, and you had a like good day, and wish you all the best. See you next time. Goodbye.